All right, guys. Let us know if you can see us, if we are here. I'm checking real quick on my phone here.
Pop Rocket said, maybe I rolled my eyes at you and they stuck that way. Justin says, thumbs up. So I think that we are here. So sorry, guys, for the delay. Katy's computer decided to, I don't know, have a fit and freeze and not work today. So we had everything set up and everything ready for the show. 5 minutes before the show, her computer would not load the streaming software, and it froze. And so we had to get my computer and bring it up here. So we're operating on a different computer, and that's why the photo quality is not quite as clear. This is just the camera that's attached to my laptop. It's not perfect. So sorry, the camera we generally use is a little bit better quality. So we have a filter today.
I don't know what is going on. It's like basically the all the interweb gods don't like us because
Wednesday's show was glitchy.
Yeah, last week we were having like major internet issues, and then we like call and we have an appointment to have somebody come out and figure out what the problem is, and then it kind of resolves itself. So then we cancel that, and then now my computer is like crashing. I restarted like 3 times. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's like when you take your car to the mechanic and you're like, it's making this sound that goes boo, 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 boo every time you do something. And then you try to make them do it and it doesn't make the sound anymore. And they're like, sure it does, lady.
Yeah, anyway. So sorry, guys. So there's a couple things. We can talk about our numbers, but I don't have the numbers up on the screen because guess what? They're all set up on my computer, but we'll talk about them.
You're gonna have to you're gonna have to verbally hear our crappy numbers instead of seeing our crappy numbers.
And maybe later, I'll post them in the boss group so everybody can see how sad our lives are right now.
Amanda's dogs are barking at us. Well, that's a good sign. I guess that means the dogs can hear us. So
yeah.
And I'm not even screeching, and Katy's not singing. Why are they barking?
Yeah, seriously. Anyway, so we apologize. I don't know what the issue is, but we are here. So we're going to go ahead and do the show. And unfortunately, there's going to be things that we're not going to be able to do. I was able to quickly try to pull up as many sales as I could to throw them up on the thing. I don't have them like interspersed, so we'll just go with your sales first and then mine.
Okay.
But numbers, what's been going on with you this week as far as sales go?
Oh, my God. My sales are in the potty. Again, I don't know. We always say when eBay makes changes to the system or changes to the platform, it tends to mess with some sellers' sales and maybe the algorithms. Obviously, we don't know. We're never going to know. But I do know when they were making massive changes last spring, my sales took a nosedive. And now that they're making massive changes on the platform again with item specifics, with all different types of things, the way that you're sending offers, what's available for offers, all that kind of stuff. So I have to be honest and say that I generally do $1,000 to $1,200 on a weekend, every weekend. And I have $250 in for the last 3 days total.
Yeah, how many things do you have to ship out right now?
6.
And 3 of those were from this morning?
Yes. Yes.
So that's pretty bad. Well,
and that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I generally, and I'm not, there's nothing, I'm not shouting conspiracy theory or anything like that from the rooftops, but as someone that has 2,500 sales, 2,500 items up for sale. I'm running a 30% off sale in my store on all items, and all items are promoted listings at trending rate.
Yeah.
I went 48 hours without a question, an offer, or a sale.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's not even possible.
And yesterday, I think I only had 1 sale yesterday on eBay. And it was really weird because I got the PayPal notification that I had gotten, it was like $48.99. And so I went and looked at the PayPal notification. It's like, okay, well, clearly that's from eBay. So then I go look at eBay. At first I look on my app and there's no notification that I have a sale. Mm-hmm. Then I open it up on my desktop. It doesn't show that I have a sale. Then I go look at the listing for the item that I was just paid for. And it was still a live listing. It was still showing as available. It took 40 minutes. It was like, I think noon is when the notification came in from PayPal. It was 12:40 when it actually like popped up as sold and took it down as from being a live listing. So there's something kind of hinky going on.
I also did get an offer today, and then I went to reply to the offer as I was listing. I was on my desktop. I went to reply to the offer, and there was no reply or counter or accept button there. So I couldn't even reply to the offer. It just there was nothing there. I had to go to my app on my phone to reply to the offer and accept it. So it's kind of weird. I don't know how to describe it. I'm sure it's not affecting everyone. I think like anything else that they do when they make changes, they go through and do it in stages, so as not to disrupt an entire server. I'm not a computer tech. I can't tell you what it is, but I just know that it's there's definitely some glitchy stuff going on right now, and I have to hope that that's the reason why my sales are in the toilet for the last 4 days.
Well, and it's funny because where did it go? I was just looking at something that was really funny. Pop Rocket says maybe eBay's using your internet provider.
I know. Actually, our internet so there's really only one option here in Las Vegas. That's the problem. We really have to use Cox, and that's all that's available. And so when something goes out, you can't really complain about the service when it's the only service that's available. Right. There is one small provider that is an alternative, but they do not have anywhere near the speeds and capabilities that the one does in our area. So unfortunately, it is what it is. And generally speaking, our internet is super fast.
Yeah, really, because because we do the show and we have to have really high upload speeds in order to be able to stream. And so we actually upgraded our internet, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, or whatever. So it's like the fastest. But seriously, this is what's so crazy is I woke up this morning. I think I had maybe 4 or 5 items to ship out between eBay and Etsy for the whole weekend, which is pretty slim. Literally in the last 10 minutes, guys, I've got a new order. I've got a new order from on Etsy. I've got I sold a t-shirt on a 208. I sold a t-shirt on eBay. And then, hold on, this is crazy. And then I've got literally somebody bought a t-shirt, offer, another shirt that just got paid for. It's like my notifications are blowing up within the last 10 minutes. It's just really crazy. But one thing, she was talking about the changes, but there also is something to this idea that there's a little bit of a lull just before fourth quarter starts. And it's almost like, I
do remember September being pretty slow for me last year and the year before. And then October, it was en fuego from October on.
Well, and it's like, it's almost like it's designed to put you into a panic. You go through the summer when there's a little bit of a slowdown, and I get it, guys. There's going to be people out there who say it's not slow for me. I get that. But generally, overall, there's a bit of a slowdown in the summer, and then you'll get to the end of the summer, and all you'll be thinking about is that fourth quarter. And then you get to the point where you're like, maybe it's not going to happen this year. Maybe this is the year it's not going to change, and we're not going to ever make money again, and we're going to be homeless. And then
I'm going to have to go get a job at McDonald's.
And then every single year, all of a sudden, it just explodes again. Now, this is if you're full-time, if you have a decent number of listings and you sell things regularly. I get that, depending on what you sell, how many listings you actually have, how active you are, there's going to be differences in how your fourth quarter will be. But let me tell you, every year around this time, we're we have to go through a little bit of pre-fourth quarter PTSD. We start sweating. And we're just we have a hard time remembering the good old days. And then,
we've had, and I honestly, I'm not complaining. I'm a little bit nervous, but that's just me. That's my general nature. But my sales have been fantastic since October. I never slowed down after last October and last Q4. Q4 kept going for me through Q1 and Q2 and Q3. It started to slow down just in the last 5 or 6 weeks a little bit. And it's still up 20% at least over last year's numbers for the last six weeks.
See, my eBay is actually down from last year.
Yeah, Nate, there is another Wi-Fi for Vegas. That's what I was saying. It is CenturyLink, but it's horrible. The service is terrible, and it does not have the speed upload and download capabilities that we need, especially for our business and YouTube.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk about our actual numbers. Now, I know I don't have them in front of us, but I can tell you.
You don't have them at all? I can't even.
I mean, I don't. I'm sorry. They're all on my computer, which is frozen right now, so it's difficult to do anything. Anyway, but I will tell you, I know my gross numbers ended up being a little over $1,700 for the week. Actually, yours were 17 something as well. I think 16 something, 17 something for the week. I know that my average sale price gross was just over $50. Yours was a little bit higher than mine, but still in the 50s. My net average sale price was around a little over $30, so not too bad. So actually for me, my numbers are really close to what they were last week. Not great. And yours significantly lower than last week.
Yeah, mine were off by about $1,000 this week from last week. I was about $1,000 down. I only sold 23 items on eBay for the entire week, which is about 20 items fewer than I normally do.
Actually, this is yours right here.
Yeah, I have some of mine. So I had 23 items on eBay, but then I sold 4 on Etsy and 2 on Mercari for a total of 29 items, which is 23, 20, 29. I'm like, the math isn't filled out on this paper, so I wasn't sure if it was correct or if it was pulling numbers from last year. I only grossed like under 1,300 on eBay for the week, so my total was 1,600 and change between all 3 platforms. So, my average sale price was $56, which I was happy about. It really wasn't too bad because my cost of goods wasn't that high. So it wasn't, I probably netted, again, I don't have my figures.
Your average net was a little over 30 as well.
And my average net was a little over 30, and my average, and my total net was probably $1,000, which is not a horrible week. It's just not good enough it's not good enough for me.
Well, it's a significant drop from last week. And really, ideally you wouldn't have like huge, like once you get to a certain size inventory, you're not going to see as many huge fluctuations. So it does feel a little bit weird when you go from, last week where you were well over $1,000 more than that gross. And then you just drop like that within a week. So
yeah, so it's just been a rough week, and last week was a good week, and the week before that was a rough week. So overall, I've been having not a great, the last 3 or 4 weeks have been not great, but still love it.
But I'll post those numbers in the Boss Facebook group. So if you're not in the Boss Facebook group, you should go ahead and join it. It's down below. The link is down below, and I'll put those up later today. It might not be till a little bit later because we're going to go swimming after this. But anyway, so that's generally how our numbers were.
Not fantastic, and there may be some that, like we said, it may have something to do with some of the changes that are happening on the platform. It may just, some of it be naturally organic, that this time of the year is a little slow. Kids are back to school. Parents just spent a ton of money on back to school items and clothing and all the stuff kids need. Everybody's moving into dorms and all that kind of stuff all over the country. So it is what it is. It's been a rough couple of weeks, but we know it's about to pick up.
Yeah.
So.
But it's like with everything being so crazy and busy over the summer, and there was a lot of times when I wasn't able, over the last couple of months, when I wasn't able to get listing done. And so my inventory numbers had really gone down. And I just today, I'm super excited. I finally got back up over 2,200 listings on eBay, which was kind of like my high. I've had a little bit higher than that, but that's like my highest benchmark that I've hit so far. So I had gotten up over 2,200 before, dropped way down, and now I'm back over 2,200, or I'm like right at 2,200. And then same thing for Etsy. My highest benchmark before was a little over 1,200, and just within the last couple of days, I finally got back up over 1,200. So I'm really happy about that, because it's like you work really hard. For some of you guys who have like bigger inventories and you're trying to hit those next levels, and you just have to crawl and scrape, and it's like it's so hard to get there sometimes.
As fast as you list, or faster than you list, which is not a bad problem.
Or you have times where maybe you can't list as much as you normally do, and then you start slipping back, and it's kind of frustrating. And so how hard it can be to get to those numbers, and you feel really good about it. So when you slip back down, it can be frustrating. So I'm really happy about that.
All right, so we've got a few questions here in the chat I'm going to address before we get into some of our solds. First one, Miss Angie. Angie was back on Wednesday, and she asked this question. We didn't get to it because we were doing the show with Rachel, and she wants to know, where's the raccoon?
I put up I don't think you were watching the show back when
She's been missing us for a few weeks.
So that's the Pride flag from when we went to San Francisco to participate in Pride with eBay.
The raccoon's here somewhere, but he's not hanging up right now.
I took him down because I wanted to put that flag up, because Dom from eBay had actually given it to me at eBay Open. During eBay Open, she brought it to me because I really wanted it. So I put it up there because I love that flag.
And we had a few other questions. You just very wordy. Scroll back so I can find.
Hold on, I gotta shut this off.
Sandy, go back up. Sandy asked a question for Teresa. Sandy is going to be in Scottsdale for a few days next month, and thought she'd tag along to the Arizona meetup. Definitely send her, Sandy, send her a message.
That's funny, because I heard somebody was going to be at the next meetup.
I didn't get there yet.
Well, that's funny though, because I heard a rumor about somebody that was going to be at the next meetup.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear the same thing?
Us? Weirdo? What?
Well, because you're like, send her a message. They're like, I don't know why you were like, hello, we're going to be there. So yeah, you should come to the meetup.
Right, but we don't hold the meetup, and the meetup is at somebody's house. So I'm telling her to contact Teresa.
I know.
To get the information.
But I'm just saying, it's exciting. Like, we're going to be there.
I'm pretty sure she knows that.
Whatever. You don't know nothing. Guys, come on.
Oh, my God.
Come on. She's such a parade rainer.
Anyway. Yeah, so we're going to be going to hang out with Miss Teresa in Arizona, and we will be there in next week.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
I think it's the 19th is the next meetup. It's the Thursday. That Thursday night.
Yeah.
We'll be coming into town. We'll be coming around the mountain. Let you come like that, you know. We'll get there on Thursday, and that night is the meetup, I believe. So there you go.
Yeah, so we'll be there for that, and that'll be a good time. I'm excited to meet some people in Arizona. We met a few of them last year when we were there.
Mm-hmm.
So Red Hill Vintage asked, how are the wedding plans coming along?
Mm-hmm.
So we had mentioned this earlier on one of our other shows. We were intending to get married on October 5th, actually just next month.
Yeah.
And we have decided to postpone until next year.
Mm-hmm.
No major reason. We're still good. Everything's good. We're still getting married. We've just decided to postpone until next year, and we'll probably be getting married in Rhode Island next year instead. So,
Yep.
let's see. I guess we could get into some of our.
Okay, so let's look at our sold highlights. So
Yeah.
I usually I have them. They go back and forth, so it kind of goes back and forth between the two of us. I didn't have because I had to scramble to get this computer set up, and I'm sorry guys that it's like kind of it's all wonky. It's because I have this up on a. I don't know if there's something you can put under.
Just leave it.
So it's not all sideways. Anyway, so it's not. So we're just gonna do yours first, and then. Karen wants to know, how is the hangovers? We have no hangovers. We were dancing it up last night.
We were dancing. I wasn't even drinking.
Yeah. We were high on life.
I was drinking water.
Yeah. I had a few beers, but we weren't, I can't do the hangovers. Can't do it.
Too old for that.
Yeah. So
and Kent says Rhode Island. I'm from Rhode Island. So I've only lived in Vegas for the last little over 6 years. Most of my family and friends are in Rhode Island, so that's probably where it'll be. Oh, and Kent apparently saw us dancing on your Instagram post to yeah.
But yeah, I will say no hangover, but I do have sore calves. I danced my calves off, you guys,
from the dancing.
Hey, it's Trish! Woohoo! She says yes, Rhode Island.
Yes,
so she'll see Trish. Now you can come to our wedding.
Yep. Now you can come to the wedding, Trish.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here. Now this is going to be, we're going to go into the Vortex first because we don't have the two monitors to play off of. We're going to go into like a crazy Vortex here, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So
yeah. What is happening? It's like the Matrix.
I haven't done it yet. Whoa. All right. Let's go over here.
All right, weirdo. Okay, so this was something that I did show in a haul video, and it's one of those things that's pretty hard to show color. This looks like the color is faded, and it's really not. It's kind of like this yellowish undertone on the base dress, and then it's sheer sleeves. So I think I maybe could have gotten it a little bit brighter, but it's actually those are the colors. So
yeah.
It sold for what you see there. I paid about $10 for it. Customer was super excited. I'm excited that it went to a good home. And one of the things that I do tell people all the time is don't, vintage items are definitely more of a long tail item. They have to find the right buyer. It's not common, current, trendy. So it's not going to sell as fast. So, but if you like vintage, and a lot of people do, and I love to buy it and sell it, it's worth the investment.
Wasn't this the one that I helped? I was holding one side.
Yes.
It wasn't up for very long.
No, we put this up. We're actually, let's see, Lorna was here visiting. So last time Lorna was here,
which wasn't that long ago. So yeah, to reopen. Okay, so next one for you. Oh wait, I do have some of them interspersed. Hey, look at that, guys. So actually, this is the T-shirt that I sold yesterday. That it took a good 40 minutes before it actually came through as being sold on eBay. I keep telling you guys, no fear. I love buying the no fear T-shirts, and I really love the 80s no fear stuff, but this is one of the 90s ones. The older I get, the better I was. Any of you guys have know those people that still talk about their high school days and how awesome it was? Yeah, no, you don't know anybody that all they talk about is their glory days.
Lots of sports people.
Yeah.
Glory days.
Yeah, older I get, the better I was. Anyway, I always pick up these No Fear t-shirts. I got this at Buffalo Exchange, so I think I paid because I actually think they only had it up for $10. And you can see it's kind of distressed around the collar, but I sold it for $48.99. What's happening? You're just looking at the
I'm looking at the chat since you can't while you're doing this.
So yeah, $48.99, guys. I paid $10 for it, and I got. What are you trying to do? Do you need help?
No, I don't
Clicking
need
on
help.
stuff.
Thank
Clicking
you.
on stuff over there. All right, next one for you.
This is something that sold overnight from when I purchased it. I purchased it at an estate sale. I paid $4. I listed it and it sold immediately.
Awesome. Yeah, you were just listing this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Sold for $50.
Nice.
And that was the high end of what they had sold for. Okay, so this is my sale as well. What was interesting about this sale is this sale also paid for shipping. This person purchased this and paid $58 to have this shipped priority mail international to Mexico. I did add some insurance on it because it was going to Mexico, and Mexico does have some sketchy mail delivery, and this was a little bit higher priced. So I did purchase my shipping through Pirate Ship and included insurance so that if I had any issues with non-delivery, I wasn't going to have to fight with USPS.
Yeah.
Pirate Ship, their pricing is a little bit higher on priority because they don't have quite the deep discount that eBay offers on Priority International. So I did pay a little bit more, but it was calculated. So the buyer actually paid. And I thought it was worth it. I think I paid about $5 for this. It did sit for a while. I think I've had this almost a full year, maybe about 10 months or so. But it was the only one on the internet available. So it was it's not like it was, overly produced and there's necessarily someone looking for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it paid, it was buyers happy to get it. They were happy to pay the shipping.
Battling robots. I love robots.
You love robots?
I love robots. All right, it's you again.
Okay, so this is something that I picked up per piece. I bought this at Savers, and they priced it per piece, which was kind of a pain in the neck. So I did pay about $28 for this altogether. It is incomplete. The man that I have sitting there as Joseph is actually the shepherd, not Joseph. But I really think he could have passed for either as far as putting this together. So it could be because, Joseph is often shown with a staff as well. So anyway, it's an African-American nativity set. And this line by Enesco was not made for very long, but it is very popular. So I did take an offer for $165 on this. Nice. It was listed for less than 2 weeks. And the buyer paid shipping. And it cost about $25 to ship. They did purchase the shipping, and it went East Coast, and it was bigger than a large flat rate box in order to package the pieces properly.
All right. Next one. Still you.
I showed this in a haul video. This was part of that video that I purchased of items that I purchased from somebody's home. A whole bunch of cap guns and things like that. And I took an offer for this for $150.
Wow.
And
that's awesome.
I have $5 into this item.
Yeah. Very, very cool. All right. And next.
Some people might remember I picked these up at an estate sale as well. I did show these in a haul video. There were several pieces that I picked up. I paid $5 a set. I just sold the last 2 sets. So this sale was actually 2 sets at once. Buyer paid $112 for the last 2 sets.
Crazy.
And those shipped priority mail. I had $10 into 112 on that one.
Yeah. All right. I think this is actually mine. So this is a Chicago Bears Super Bowl 21 t-shirt. Now, for any of you guys who are big football people, or maybe you're Chicago Bears fans, you might know that Super Bowl 21 was not won by the Chicago Bears. So this is an interesting t-shirt because I'm assuming it was probably, in fact, I don't even think that they went to the Super Bowl for this Super Bowl. So that's the thing. It's kind of weird. I don't know if it's like a misprint because I think the year after or the year before they won. I put it down as a misprint. Anyway, so this sold, And let's look and see how much it actually sold for.
And sorry for you guys looking at the top of my head in this little screen. I'm trying to read because we only have one computer. I'm trying to read the chat, and I'm old, and I'm trying to read it on Katy's phone.
So I sold this for $100, $99.99. They did not pay shipping, so it was free shipping, but I sold for $100. I've had this one up for a number of months, but I kind of knew that it would be like a weird one to sell because, like I said, they didn't actually win the Super Bowl this year. So I think it's a pretty cool, from 1986, pretty cool t-shirt. All right, the next one. So I've showed this before. I've sold 2 of these now. And if you remember, I also had a few, 3 that were black, and I sold all of those. And then this is the second one of these that I've sold. So I still have one left. So I sold it for $70, which is pretty awesome because I've gotten some pretty lowball offers from different people on eBay. But so far I've pretty much sold, I think maybe one of the black ones I took like an offer of 60. So for the most part, I've sold all of them for the full price that I've asked for. So these were the t-shirts that I had gotten from Barry, Afro Vintage. And I've sold almost all of them. I've got one of these left, and then I've got like 2 other colors. So I think I have 3 total t-shirts left from this lot. All right, this one's yours.
Oh, this was my Etsy sale. So I picked this up. I love robes. I love picking up robes, men's and women's robes. Not the real cheap ones from Target or Walmart or whatever, but vintage robes, especially men's and women's, sell really, really well. And they're usually inexpensively priced because people don't put a lot of value on them. So I picked this up for, I honestly can't remember. It was under $10 though. It was probably somewhere around $4 or $7. This is a wool robe, did not have the closure, and 100% wool, and it's that scratchy wool too. So I don't really understand it. I wouldn't want that against my skin, but hey.
Let's see what it sold for. Ooh,
sold on Etsy for $99.95. It says plus shipping, but it was free shipping. That was my only sale yesterday. It sold on Etsy.
Very good, very good. All right, so let's see. Go ahead and close that out. All right, so this Lady Gaga t-shirt. So this is a t-shirt that I got. She's in residency. Is she still doing it right now? I don't know.
Yes, I think she's still here.
Here in Vegas, and I had found a couple of these t-shirts at Savers, and there's a bunch of them that like have a similar design on them, and of course there's a bazillion of them, I'm sure, being sold at every single show. But this particular one, there aren't a lot of them, and so, or I think at the time I listed it, there were like none. Anyway, so I listed it really high. I took an offer. I have one left, but I took an offer on this one for $80, and it went to Spain, I believe. So I sold to somebody in Spain, so they paid $80 plus shipping. So I made a little bit on the shipping too. It got my label, of course, through Pirate Ship. So
very nice, very nice.
Yep.
Hey, One Witch Lady, thanks for popping in for a bit. I'm looking here. Let's see. Jenny Lorette says you wear a wool robe over silk pajamas. Okay. All right. I can see that might work.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, so this next one is this Yosemite National Park t-shirt. So here's the cool thing about this shirt. So I've talked about these Yosemite t-shirts before. This is probably like the 3rd one I've sold in the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 months. In fact, I've done so well at selling Yosemite t-shirts that I actually went on Mercari and bought this t-shirt. I actually paid, it was $8, and then I paid shipping. So I ended up paying like $13.25 for this t-shirt. And I sold it for $69.99. I actually sold it to somebody who bought 5 things for me. They bought 3 t-shirts and 2 sweatshirts, all for varying prices. I think it was like the total order was like $200. But this t-shirt was $70. So I turned $13 into $70, bought it off of Mercari. So you can always be sourcing.
Buy to flip.
Yeah, you can source right on the platforms that we sell on. I mean, I don't sell on Mercari yet, but you do. And there's always, I buy stuff off of eBay all the time. But I just recently, in the past few months, started, scouring Mercari for cool deals.
And she does it while we're watching TV at night. It's not like you're doing it actively during your workday necessarily.
No, we'll be hanging out, and I'll be like, I'm going to do a search of vintage t-shirts, and I'll just go through, and I see one that pops out that I think looks cool, that I think I can sell for a decent amount of money. I'll snag it. So,
and Cheryl is saying she wears no robe over skin, so she's being saucy.
oh,
Cheryl's just naked all the time.
By the way, I don't know if you saw earlier, but Cheryl wanted you to know that she's been taking pictures all day.
I'm impressed, Cheryl. Now get those pictures listed into listings. Turn them into listings.
Cheryl is never good enough for you. She's never, Cheryl, you are always good enough for me. Don't listen to her. Don't you listen to her. She just survived a hurricane. Now she's taking pictures, and all you care about is whether or not she's got them listed yet.
That's right.
So rude.
Cracking that whip.
So rude.
All right. So listen, Darlene Johansson, I'm sorry, had a question here. Just had a great offer, not a question, but a statement. Just had a great offer, and there's no way to respond.
Yes. Okay. Hold on a second.
Go to your app. Go to your app on your phone. You can do it on your phone.
You actually can respond to it, guys. Here's the deal. I don't know what they're doing with the screen, and I wish I could show it to you. To be able to demonstrate what the issue is. But what happens is you'll get the notification that you got an offer. You'll click on it. It'll take you to that page, and it'll just, there's nothing there. There actually is. It's just hard to find. If you go look on the side on your desktop, who did you say it was, Darlene?
Yeah.
Look to the left, and there'll be like a little box, and click there. It'll show the person's name and the offer. Click on that. It should be there. Then it'll take you to the screen. I don't know why it's not taking you directly to the screen. It used to take you directly to it. And so what it does is you go to it and you're like, where is it? There's no offer here. It's actually there. They've just kind of hidden it, and it's really weird. I think it's just like a weird mistake that happened when they were switching things up.
And it'll be fixed shortly, but it's a pain in the ass right now.
So either go to the app on your phone or look a little harder on that screen, look to the left, and it'll actually be there. You just need to click on it. It'll take you to the next screen. It's like an extra step. Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember this. Mm-hmm. Remember, this was in one of the sourcing videos that we did. Now, I don't really buy as much. I definitely don't buy jeans anymore. I don't buy necessarily a lot of the FUBU Platinum stuff because it just isn't as popular anymore. But we were at Savers, and I happened to see the set. It was like a full set, the jeans and the jacket. And I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and get them. If I remember right, I think they were each priced at like around like $8.99, $10. So I bought them both, probably paid about $15 for both of them. And, they've been up for a few months, but not too long. And they sold for the price that's right there, $112. And I was able to get them somehow I managed to get them into a 15 by 12 poly mailer. So even though they were literally like 6 or 7 pounds between the two of them, because they're huge, I was able to get them into a 15 by 12 poly mailer and send them cubic through pirate ship. So it only cost me, it was less than $9 to ship them across the country.
$8.92.
They went to Brooklyn. That's what I remember. They went to Brooklyn. So that is, the most expensive distance for me to ship domestically. And it only cost me less than $9 to ship 7 pounds.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not a fan of FUBU, but this is because it was a set, because it was the denim set. That I think that's really what sold it. FUBU in general is not. There's tons of it available, and I never pick it up. But the FUBU Platinum, like Katy said, it's this specific item that she found that kind of had some value to it.
Yeah. All right, last one for me is this Danny Hamlin Motocross Racing T-shirt. I think I showed it just a couple weeks ago in the haul. I got it from Buffalo Exchange, and so I paid like $12 tops for it. And if you remember, like it had like 3 different signatures on it. I think this is the one that's actually his signature, but then there's some other people's signatures on here, which I had no idea, with no way to identify, but I was able to identify that his is actually on there. Now, this guy, he actually passed away, I think, in 1995 or 1996. Anyway, I ended up selling this I did not sell it for $69.99. I think I sold it for $50. I think I took an offer for $50. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I did take an offer. And so I was like, $50, I'll take it. So I was pretty happy with that. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Now let's go back into the vortex over here. Whoa. And here we are. Stop the screen share. Anyway, guys, those are our sold highlights. I'm sure there were a couple more that I missed that I wanted to show, but
there's a few of them there.
That was me like frantically trying to pull stuff up so we had a show to do, so we didn't have to cancel another show, guys. Because listen, I care about you. Yes, the screen's a little fuzzy. I understand that. I apologize.
It's better. It makes us look better. Like I said,
unprofessional nature of our show today.
There's no wrinkles.
Yeah,
it's a nice filter. Just shush.
Okay. All right. Anyway, guys. So that's our sold highlights for the week, and then now we have some stuff to show for a haul. What did we do this week? I mean, we didn't. Okay, so I think I briefly talked about this earlier this last week. I did a bulk buy, and you'll get to see that next week. I did a bulk buy from somebody who's actually in the Boss group, and I've known for a few years now through the streetwear community because we're in some streetwear groups together. So I'll give him a shout out when I actually am showing the stuff. But we're talking 91 pounds. 91 pounds of stuff, 2 big boxes. One's 45 pounds, one's 46. I think they're supposed to come on Tuesday. So it's a huge, huge bulk buy, like 50 items, the majority of which are jackets, all vintage. I am not going to be sharing like how much I paid because that's something when you're doing bulk buys like this, you negotiate with the person that you're buying from. And so it's not really appropriate to share like the details like that in this case.
Well, you're gonna when you sell the items, you'll share what you paid per item.
Probably, yeah. But anyway, so just to let you know, I won't be giving out that information. But so I bought this huge bulk buy, but I'm not getting it till the beginning of next week. So I didn't do my usual all day Thursday thrifting, but I did go to Buffalo Exchange so that I would have at least some new stuff to be able to list this week and also to be able to talk about today. So that all my stuff is from Buffalo pretty much, except a couple of things that I got when we were out.
Yeah. And so my sourcing this week was entirely at 2 estate sales. That's it. No Savers, no Buffalo.
Yeah.
2 estate sales.
Yeah.
So this may be, I don't know. I actually have the majority of what I have is clothing. This week, which I know not all of you guys love that because I know a lot of you watch because I actually have a little bit of some different stuff than Katy does.
Are you trying to say that these people are here because they want to watch you and they don't want to see my crap?
Yes.
So rude.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I know. Some of you guys over here, you're probably here because you really want to look at my stuff and not Katy's
stuff. That was not what I said.
That's pretty much what you said. You were so rude. You're so rude.
Such an ass.
I love you.
Just punch her. I want to punch her.
Oh, that's so rude.
Some days.
So rude.
Some days. All right. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
Right here.
Go for it.
So
everybody's here to see you anyway.
Right? I know. Jeez. So one of the things that I was going to purchase at an estate sale that I'll show a little bit later, I can credit Barry Afro Vintage with helping me get. I had walked away from the estate sale. The item that I wanted to go there specifically to purchase was marked ridiculously high. It was legitimately, it was marked at $300 and I was nowhere near willing to spend that much. Everything they had there, the majority of what they had there was priced very, very, very high. So I did not buy very many items and I walked away, and that was the first estate sale. We got there early, waited outside for a good half an hour before we could get in, that kind of thing. Well, come to find out, Barry was there, and he was probably there before me because he made it into one of the rooms and we ran into one another. And so he's like, hey, did you go check at the garage for this thing? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, that's why I came. They want $300. He's like, oh, screw that. I was like, yeah, me too. Yep, that's how I feel. So we ended up walking away, and then he sent me a message about 20 minutes later after we left. And he was still there, and he had gone and negotiated with the owners of the house that were working with the estate sale company that happened to be there and got them to drop the price in half for me. He's like, I'll pick it up for you if you want it. You just tell me this is how much they want, and then we can meet up. He's like, I don't want any money for it. Just you pay me what it costs. I'll get you the receipt and everything.
He came through with a serious assist. He's done that for me before too.
He really, really did. So he grabbed it for me, and I ended up paying $150 for it, and I'll show that probably last. But that 150, I should be able to turn into about 600 and change based on my research and what I wanted. 300 was not enough of a margin.
Yeah.
But 150 into 600 will be good. So I'm pretty excited about that. Barry is a good dude. He's a good friend. And he's
Angie, you got to wait for it. He's not going to show it till later in the show.
And so when we met up later in the afternoon to pick it up from him, I also picked up these items. So I paid... because he had these for sale. So I paid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I bought 11 items for $100 from him. And what I purchased were a lot of vintage tour books. So some of these only sell for about $20 to $30. But you remember these old tour programs that you would get on? This is from 1985, Kool and the Gang. Not a huge demand, but this one will probably go for about $30. We got some I didn't look through all of them. We got some vintage Lionel Richie.
Me you're looking for. Come on, you like it.
Some of them are not like super fantastic, worth a ton, but like this is like the Ringo Starr All-Star Band. You know, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, very cool.
But there are a couple in here. One's an older Aerosmith one. They're all vintage, but the ones that I'm really liking is this one that is signed by the entire band. This is the one that probably has the most value. This is a Metallica Black tour book. So it's signed.
Like poke my
I know it's
eyeball out.
shiny. I'm sorry. So it's the '91 tour, and it's signed by everyone in the band. And I'm really liking this one. So I don't know what I'm going to sell this one for yet. I haven't really done any comps. I literally just picked it up like late the other day. So that one's pretty cool. But out of these 11, this one, the Metallica one, and this one are my two favorites. Dana, I love you. I know you love Ozzy, but you're not getting this.
You're not getting it, Dana.
This one has a tour pass, a backstage pass in it. So this is, and it's signed. It's not signed by Ozzy, but it is signed by Zakk Wylde. And it is also signed, let's see, also signed by Randy Castillo, who is dead. So it's got some decent signatures in here, and I think I'll sell this one for about $100.
Nice.
If it was signed by Ozzy, it would go for more. There we go.
You almost poked yourself in the face.
Huey Lewis.
I'm so
Huey
happy
Lewis.
to be stuck with you. I love me some Huey Lewis.
It's some old Madonna. This one actually sells for quite a bit as well. It's not signed, but it actually sells for quite a bit. So does this. This is the original U2 Joshua Tree tour book. And this one sells for a little bit, like 40 bucks at least or so. David Lee Roth, the World Tour,
Very
Eat 'em
cool.
and Smile World Tour. And then we've got another Ozzy one. This is not signed. So Dana says, "How dare you keep my real father and I apart?" That's okay. He didn't sign it, Dana. If he signed it, I love you enough that I would probably gift it to you, but I wouldn't have told you about it beforehand.
Yeah, you have to wait till Christmas.
That would be a big one.
Nothing. Yeah, it'd be like your present for the next 5 years.
Exactly. So that one was pretty cool. So I'm kind of excited about that. So
Yeah, for sure.
that was one.
But yeah, Barry came through. He's definitely a good buddy, and you know what? It really helps that this is where it comes in handy to pay attention to the other resellers in your community and build relationships with them, because you always can help each other out. You know, especially when you don't sell the same type of stuff. Because Barry obviously goes more for the streetwear, and he did hook me up with a T-shirt there. He had mercy on me and gave me one T-shirt there. But you know, it's always good to have somebody who's looking out for you and is going to pay attention when something comes up, and you know, you help each other out because you never know.
And they're all in nice condition. Like Greg said, they're all in nice condition. Whoever kept them, he bought them all from one person at a garage sale, and I'm sure he didn't pay $100. So I know that he made some profit on it too. But it was a quick flip for him. And for me, some of these are a little bit long tail. This is a good time of the year, though. A lot of people buy collector's items, especially for the holidays, as gifts. And gifts for themselves. So, you know, I'll probably make a few $100s off of these altogether. So I'm excited. I like them.
Nice. All right, you want me to show some stuff?
Yeah, your turn.
All right, so like I said, all I did was go to Buffalo Exchange. Luckily, they had some pretty cool stuff. So I found a number of things I was really excited about. And then, of course, I got a couple of T-shirts from the estate sale we went to, one that Barry was throwing me a bone, and the other one, a couple that you gave me. Because you got some T-shirts as well. But so at Buffalo, I actually got like 3 different T-shirts that were tie-dye. This one, I haven't done any research on it yet, but it's from the 90s. It's actually a VH1 T-shirt. It says Fairway to Heaven 2. So I don't know if this was to raise money or if it was just a televised like celebrity golf tournament kind of thing. But it says Stairway to Heaven 2, VH1. It's single stitch. It's got the VH1 thing on the back. Haven't looked it up. I have no idea if there is any history of any of these being sold before. I don't know if there's any other ones listed. But it's a really cool T-shirt. And I love the colors. And this should do well. I mean, at the very least, I should be able to sell it for a good, $50. But for all I know, again, it might be something that goes for a lot. Maybe I can sell for 100. Maybe I can sell for 150. I don't know. Who
Maybe.
knows? Haven't
Who
looked it up
knows?
yet. Don't know. But I was really excited about that one. This one, I mean, come on. I think this one's pretty hilarious. She does not agree because she's lame.
Apparently, I'm super lame.
Lame. Anyway, this is awesome. First of all, you guys know I love my vintage like running like race t-shirts. Like I love like 10K t-shirts. You know, ones from like the 80s especially. I like any of those like event t-shirts like that.
Mm-hmm.
This one is awesome. This one says, "Why did the ram fall off the cliff?" Okay, that's the front. And then the back says, "He didn't see the U-turn." It says, "Don't miss Lamb Day, 5,000 meter fun run." This does not have a year on it. So I don't know if this is an event that still happens or not, but I'll have to look it up. But you can see this tag right here. This is a Hanes 50/50 tag. This is an 80s Hanes tag. I can tell from the t-shirt construction. It's definitely an 80s t-shirt. But I just think it's hilarious. It's so stupid, so silly, so funny.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
So Jinx asked, would it be better to hold on to some of those tour books for a later date? You know, Ozzy is in poor health. You know, probably. The short answer to that is probably. They would probably be worth more. Not probably. They will be worth more when he passes away. But I'll tell you, that guy's almost like Keith Richards. So I'm not waiting 10 years to cash in on it. So
yeah, no.
Could be. No. It could be 6 months from now. It could be he may last another 20 years. Who knows? It's Ozzy.
Cheryl Ross.
He's got 900 lives. He's like a cockroach. I love the guy. So who knows?
Check it out.
What?
Cheryl found a 90s hypercolor shirt. The bins.
No, does it work?
Yeah, does it still work?
That's the question.
That is the question. Okay, so the next one, I think this is one of the ones that you gave me, isn't it?
It is.
Yes, this one. So you guys, you know how I feel about my whale shirts, my whale t-shirts. So this one's awesome because it says, this says dolphins, and it says dolphins are out of this world. So what's great about this is it has dolphins on it, but it's also a space t-shirt. What? That's like quite the combo because it's got like, you know, planets in the background and space. They're out of this world. So it's kind of like a twofer.
It's like a twofer.
Hey, it's a twofer. Anyway, so this is the World Wildlife Fund. Does not, I don't think it has a date on it, but this is definitely a 90s jerseys tag. Fantastic. Fantastic. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you gave it to me because you love me.
I'm nice.
Moderately.
Sometimes.
Moderately.
Cheryl says it works in the dryer, but not with the touch. Still cool. You're right. Still cool.
Mm-hmm.
I know it is almost Star Trek. Naomi, don't go there. Don't go there with the Star Trek 4.
Yeah,
I got away with only watching like 15 minutes of the damn thing.
Only because I didn't make you watch the rest of it. But you know what? It's amazing. It's my favorite one.
Good gravy.
Voyage Home. Come on. Whales.
See, started again.
Space.
Started.
Time travel.
Nope. Naomi,
Come on.
I'm blaming this on you. I'm blaming this one on you, Naomi.
What's up, Barry? We've already given you some shout outs, Barry, there in the chat.
Thank you, Kent. It is awful. I agree.
Here's the t-shirt that Barry hooked me up with, Space Center Shuttle Camp. I've actually had this shirt before and sold it before. It's an awesome t-shirt, 80s t-shirt. There's Screen Stars tag. And are you showing any of those polo shirts?
Mm-hmm.
You are? Okay. Anyway, so what was cool about this house is lots and lots of, this guy was like, what was he? We don't know if he was FBI or what.
FBI, CIA, some type of special enforcement officer.
Yeah.
DEA, who knows?
A lot of like government.
He was something
military.
military for sure.
Yeah. And this was one of the t-shirts that was there. And then she got a bunch of stuff that she'll be showing here in a little bit. But this is like my jam right here. So I very much appreciate Barry tossing this to me and let me have one t-shirt. It really made me feel special.
He threw you a bone, literally.
He threw me a bone. Mm-hmm. Well, literally, not literally throw me any bones.
Whatever. He threw you a shirt.
Anyway, why don't you go?
Okay. So, sorry, you kind of like, I don't have my stuff. Hold on. Keep talking.
Hold, please. By the way, guys, so my eBay was out of control. And I was getting all these offers and sales this morning, or just earlier. And now I have a return request. I don't know what it is, but so thanks a lot. Okay, thanks a lot, eBay. Now I got a return request. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be like something. Hopefully, it's something cheap. Oh, it's just a t-shirt I sold for $27.99, so that's not a big deal.
So the first estate sale that we went to was this older woman's home, clearly an older woman, and she had really nice taste in clothing, and everything was kept meticulously. She had a huge walk-in closet and tons and tons and tons of clothes, but every single thing was on a dry cleaning hanger and had been dry cleaned and was pressed and is in just beautiful condition. Every item I paid an average of $2.25 for. And what I picked up was a lot of, I'm just going to show, most of the brands were that brand called Soft Surroundings, which is a great brand. It's actually very pricey and holds the resale value pretty well. They're very basic, soft t-shirts and shirts sell for $40, $45 or so. Lorna is the one that brought my attention to this brand a couple years ago, maybe. But this particular woman didn't have the plain, basic, boring stuff. She had some gorgeous pieces that I've never even seen by Soft Surroundings. A couple of them being these really long, like beaded, get all the accoutrement on here. These beaded dresses. This is just a gorgeous linen dress. Everything is in plus sizes as well, 1X. So I'll probably sell that for about $60 or $75. I don't think I'll sell anything for less than $60 or $75. It's beautiful embroidered blazer. The silk blazer. Let's see. This long, it's kind of like Indian, like a kurta inspired looking embroidered, gorgeous linen jacket. This one I think I'll probably list for around 100.
So Cheryl is asking about the tags.
Oh yeah, show a few of the tags for me, please.
So there, you see, it says Soft Surroundings.
They have a couple of different styles of tags. I'll show you a couple of them. This is another piece that she has that just looked really bohemian that I loved, and it has these great tassels. And again, more embroidery. This is embroidered sleeve. I'm trying to get into the right frame here. Embroidered sleeves. And then it's got this fantastic hood.
Oh, fancy.
And it is just this long, like,
well, when we figured out that she was
caftan
like
type
in,
dress. I didn't, we'll get there.
Sorry. I won't, well, just remember that with the hood.
She was in, well, that's not what the hood is.
Well, no, but I know, but it makes me think of like this kind of, it looks like this fancy hood. It just makes me think of like some sort of secret society, okay? She wasn't the Illuminati, guys. Yeah, I'm going to break the news right now. The Illuminati.
Very heavily beaded velvet jacket. And again, I paid $2 and change for all of these. I couldn't, I went through every single item in her closet. And let's see, can we see that? Where's the camera here? Can we see the tag or is it focusing?
I don't know.
It's not focusing. Sorry. Crappy computer camera.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll go through right now. And you can go and you can do some more. So I don't have a ton left. So
I would like to point out, this is really important that I point this out. Trish says that's the best Star Trek movie, The Whales, and bad 80s outfits. It was great. Trish, I knew I loved you for a reason, and now I know this is it. This is it, okay? Okay? I actually have the script from it that Alexis hooked me up with because it's pretty much an awesome movie. So, Trish, maybe we can watch it together, okay? Next time we're hanging out.
When you come visit?
Yeah, we'll watch it. Anyway, yeah, so let's go to some more t-shirts. Back to the old Buffalo Exchange. So, guys, you know I'm from Oregon. And back in 1980, I was just 1 year old. In 1980 was when Mount St. Helens erupted. Now, Mount St. Helens, of course, is in Washington. However, it was, for anybody that was around at that time, it was such a huge event. And the ash from Mount St. Helens actually traveled all the way down to where we lived in Oregon and even south of us. And I even remember when I was a kid going up to Washington, and there was still, this is like in the early 80s, mid 80s, there was still some places where there was ash on the side of the highway and stuff. At least that's what I remember. But
I was East Coast, so that never happened in my world.
So this t-shirt I think is fantastic. Mount St. Helens,
that may be my favorite one that you got.
It's from 1980. And it has the time when the first eruption happened, and I guess it must have happened more after that. I really don't know. I just know that it had happened, in 1980. But what a fantastic Ringer t-shirt. The tag. Again, guys, remember, I always say, pay attention when you have a t-shirt that's actually, it's just very light. pay attention when you have a t-shirt that's dated like this, because this is how you learn your tags. And see how it says sportswear? That's a really quite a fancy name that they came up with for their line. But back in the day with t-shirts, there's a lot of t-shirts you'll find, especially like in the 70s, that don't even have names on them. Don't have brand names because they just didn't do that. And it wasn't until the 80s that when they started doing that. But anyway, this one's called Sportswear 1980s. So when you see those tags, it's probably going to be late 70s into the 80s. But this is a fantastic t-shirt. The next one, Karen says, I graduated in 1980. Katie was one. Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry. She's always like that. She's such an ageist. I can't help you. I'm sorry, Karen.
Sorry, guys. Anyway. All right, next one. I also really love the gecko Hawaii t-shirts, the vintage ones. This is a great one. It's got the all over print. You can see, like, when you look at it, it's actually all little geckos interconnected.
I actually sold a gecko towel that was pretty faded just a couple weeks ago for about $40, and it went to Hawaii. It was a towel, guys. That brand is pretty coveted.
Yep, because it's just like that classic surfer style. So really, really cool. Yeah. So Cheryl says I was 12 when it happened. Lots of ash at my house in Beaverton, Oregon. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Anyway, fantastic t-shirt. I love it. I got that at Buffalo. I think it was like $11. Here's another tie-dye. And more dolphins. This one says preserve marine life, Earth Children, San Diego. This is just an awesome 90s single stitch tie-dye, pretty cool tie-dye shirt. I also got that at Buffalo Exchange for like $11-12.
Cheryl's like, I was on my first divorce in 1980.
I got one more.
Cheryl, I love you.
I got one more t-shirt and then just sweatshirts after that. So I'll do this one more t-shirt and then we'll go to you. So this one I actually think is great considering the time of year it is. It says Midway YMCA Great Pumpkin, and it actually says Great Pumpkin Predicted Rally, October 18th, 1986. Okay. So it's in fantastic condition. I don't know how well the color is coming across, but it's a really nice orange. And I love the shirt. I got to get this listed this week for it, time for Halloween. And you can see this tag is in just fantastic condition. The screen stars, and again, medium, or again, guys, look at your tags, look at your dated t-shirts. This is 1986. And as I've said a million times before, that's an 80s screen stars tag right there. But yeah, just a really cool Halloween t-shirt.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about it. Back to you.
Back to me. So just a couple of more of this. This is another, if you can try and hold this tag up, this is another soft surroundings. But again, I didn't buy the basic boring clothing. She had really, really beautiful pieces. Lots of different tags for soft surroundings. $2.50. Again, that'll sell for $50 or $60.
Very cool.
This is another brand name to look out for. This particular blouse is fairly boring. It's kind of this sheer, flowy plus size blouse, but the brand is Eileen Fisher. And if you haven't heard me mention it before, I hope you'd heard someone mention it before, but Eileen Fisher is a coveted, expensive, high-end ladies brand of clothing. And again, this is, it's kind of a basic white shirt, but I should get at least $30 or $40 just based on the brand name.
Nice.
One more, and this will be the last of my soft surroundings clothing that I'll show, but this particular one is new without tags. It actually still has some of the tags on it. It has like the beading attached to it. And it's just this really pretty, heavily beaded, semi-sheer, tunic blouse. Nice. Everything she had was really very pretty. So this also came from this first estate sale that I went to. It was pretty picked over in all of the closets, and I was in the same bedroom as Barry looking through a lot of clothing, and this was in one of the other closets, but it's a real nice vintage Pendleton. I paid $3 for this. It does have a couple of tiny holes in the front. I'm not even sure you're even going to be able to see them. This is has a dry cleaner tag on it. But it has a tiny hole at the bottom that is not a moth hole. It's actually right where somebody's belt loop would be. I think it's a belt hole from it being tucked in. There's one on each side in the same spot.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody that tucks their shirts in, you're not really going to see it. And I still think I could get at least $50 out of that one.
Yeah.
And then... Oh, I'll do one last dress, and then you can do your sweatshirts. This one, again, is this big, huge, long, sheer, beautifully embroidered dress or cover-up of sorts. And this one, what happened?
It's hold on, guys. I just gotta. Sorry. Oh, Barbara got it. There was a troll, and Barbara took care of it.
Okay.
So sorry. Continue. I couldn't do it on my phone.
So this one is Johnny Was. This is something I don't find very often, and certainly don't find in the wild for $2. But I think I can get about $100 for this. This is a beautiful off-white, heavily embroidered ankle-length dress.
Very nice.
Okay. Cool.
I'm trying. It's very long.
Okay, and your turn.
Oh, it's my turn?
Mm-hmm. Or do you want to do one more?
No, keep going. Keep going.
Okay. So I actually got these 2 items from this woman's house. So this is the other thing that we were going to talk about is that, first of all, this one I paid up for a little bit. I did pay $20 for this. This is a beautiful fur. It's a fringed stole or scarf or what have you. It's vintage, but it's new with tags. And I did pay $20 for this. It's rabbit. It's not cheetah. I know it looks cheetah, but it's rabbit fur. But it's this brand Marvin Richards. If you find jackets by that brand, buy them.
I think I've sold a jacket.
I've sold a few. If you find jackets by that brand, buy them. They're 80s, 90s, and they sell very well. A lot of fur coats, a lot of leather, a lot of faux fur. It's just a very good selling brand.
Yeah. Kent says PETA.
All right, Kent. I didn't kill the animal. It's already been dead for 20 or 30 years.
It's vintage.
I'm going to spend some money and sell it.
Yeah.
But I think I can get about $100 from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Keep going.
I did pick up one item doing some little bit of retail arbitrage yesterday. I don't do it all the time. I actually just went to Kohl's for myself and checking out the clearance rack. And I found this super cool vintage looking. Obviously, it's not vintage. It was at Kohl's. Vintage looking denim jacket that has Elton John on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And it also has it on the front. It was clearanced down to $28. So, and there was only one out of miles of clearance racks. So for me, I looked it up quickly online just to see if it had any resale value. And there's one listed for $200. I don't think it'll sell for $200, but I do think I can get at least $100, $129 out of it or so, especially if I open it up to international, which I do automatically. Kohl's obviously does not sell outside of the United States. So I'm excited about that.
Very good. Very good. You can get, I literally only have like a few sweatshirts. So
okay.
You show the rest of that. I'll show the rest of mine. And then you can do your big finish.
All right. I have 2 hard good, well, sort of things to show. So this is, we were talking about the gentleman's house that we think he was like FBI or something in the government or some type of security services or something like that. So, the other thing that I picked up, and I didn't bring them all up here, but I picked up about 10 shirts for $3 a piece. While Barry was searching through the vintage sweatshirts and things, I was going through the polo shirts that were nicely folded and stacked on the bed. One of them is FBI, former communicator is what it says. This one is United States liaison office. I think he might have been some type of political liaison. And this is in Abu Dhabi. This one is Marine Security Guard Detachment, American Embassy in Bogota, Colombia. They were from all over the place. And this one just says American Embassy in Baghdad, Iraq. I think I can get $30 to $40 out of each of them. Mm-hmm. And I paid $3 a piece. So I thought those were pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
And that's it. I've got 2 more hard good things to show, and you can keep going.
All right. So all I have left is sweatshirts, I think.
Okay.
So I picked this up at Buffalo Exchange. And this is 1994 Las Vegas Bowl between UNLV and was it CMU? I don't know what that says. Anyway, CMU. I feel like the UNLV stuff, obviously we have a lot of it here because we're in Vegas, but it actually sells really well. I do really well with UNLV stuff. But what I thought was interesting about this sweatshirt is it's from 1994, and it's actually a Gildan tag. And I've never seen this.
91.
No, it's 94.
Oh, sorry.
And I've actually never seen this particular Gildan tag. It says Gildan, Midway Cotton, whatever. Made in Canada. So the reason I think it's interesting is that Gildan is a company that is Canadian. It's a Canadian company. And they started in like the mid 90s. So this is probably one of the earliest Gildan things you'll see. Most Gildan tags that you see for t-shirts, most of the time, they're usually 2000 and forward, because that's when they kind of became like a lot more popularly used for like blank t-shirts for people having t-shirts printed and stuff like that. So most of the time when you see a Gildan tag, it's usually not going to be vintage. So this is kind of cool. This is from 1994 and made in Canada. Made in Canada, eh? Eight. Now this is an awesome sweatshirt. Haven't priced it. Haven't done any really too much research.
I like that sweatshirt.
Because there's nothing really like this out there at the moment. But this is an amazing Coca-Cola International Gymnastics, and it's one of those kind of crop top, like short sweatshirts.
But it's men's gymnastics.
Yeah, and what's really cool. So the back of it says Coca-Cola Gymnastics, but what's really cool is when you look at the sleeves. So on one sleeve, it says skate, and it's like speed skating, Coca-Cola. And then on the other sleeve, it actually has giant slalom. So it's kind of funny because the sleeves are both like winter sports for the Olympics, but then gymnastics.
I think the Coca-Cola was confused.
Yeah. Gymnastics. Isn't gymnastics in the Summer Olympics?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's in both sometimes.
No, it's not.
No, I think it's almost, you're right. It's probably always in summer.
One or the other. But anyway, I love this. I think it's an amazing, like visually, it's pretty amazing. I actually bought this on eBay, and I paid like $20 for it. Not really sure what I'm going to price it at. It's got a couple of like light spots on it. I was able to get some of it out, but pretty awesome sweatshirt, and I'm going to sell it for $1 bazillion.
All right, just a bazillion.
Okay, maybe 2 bazillion, maybe
Okay.
2.5 bazillion.
All right.
I don't know. And then I got 2 more. So this one, LA Gear, guys.
I love that one too.
So now what's cool?
You got some cool stuff this week.
Mm-hmm, for sure. So this one I got at Buffalo Exchange, and when I got it, it was actually it's definitely faded. It's definitely got some wear to it. But when I got it, it was like covered in pilling. So sometimes you'll find sweatshirts where they'll have like that pilling all over them. And it really makes them look like dingy and kind of like extra worn out and not very desirable. But the great thing about sweatshirts with pilling is they're super easy to use the sweater shaver on. Actually, if you can grab it right there. So if you do any amount of clothes, you want to get something like this, the sweater shaver, because you can actually take pilling off pretty easily. And when you do that, it's like a whole different piece of clothing. And it's funny because when I was just about to do it, you were like, I've never shaved a sweatshirt. Not that you do like a lot of sweatshirts, but you said something like you've never shaved a sweatshirt.
Well, I probably have at least 200 in my inventory, so I do sell sweatshirts.
Oh, well, but you said you never shaved one.
I didn't know. I've never shaved one.
Maybe you've never bought one that was like super pilly.
Maybe not.
But whereas I tend to do it because it's like a lot of times they're priced really cheap because they're kind of like, they don't look very good. But that's one thing. It's not a stain. You can just shave it and it looks fancy schmancy. Anyway, this is that kind of raised
Puffy paint kind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that puffy paint. But I think this sweatshirt's fantastic. Old school streetwear. Love it. Can wear that with my LA Gear high tops. And then the last thing I have right here is this awesome Cheers sweatshirt. Now this one's got, you can see it's got like a big fade right in the middle of it, like that kind of light. I don't know if it was like left folded up out in the sun or something like that. It's got kind of a weird.
I can't tell it looking at it dead. Oh yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, you can see it. This faded. This is an 80s tag, so which is pretty cool. So this is from the show. It says right on it, Paramount Pictures Corporation.
As opposed to it being from
the bar, because you'll
they
find
a lot of bar memorabilia.
Yeah, you'll find a lot of sweatshirts and T-shirts and stuff like that from the bar that you go to, but it'll actually say on it that that's what it is. So this is from the television shows. This is actually pretty cool. I think I already listed it. I didn't list it like super high or anything like that, just like $50, but But I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, that was my little haul for this week. That was mainly just going to Buffalo Exchange because I know I can always go there and pick up some really quality pieces to be able to have a put
Trish says Boston.
Yeah, Boston.
Boston. I've been there.
Yeah, indeed. All right.
I've been to the Cheers Bar. I think if you live in Boston, you have to have been there at least once in your life, or if you live near Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So from the same woman's house that I got these beautiful clothes from, I also picked this up. We were talking about, secret organizations and fraternities and different types of fraternal organizations. Well, this particular thing is a sash. It's a heavy velvet sash that is satin silk lined in the back with lots of fringe. And it is the chapter, Vegas chapter of the Order of the Eastern Star. So Order of the Eastern Star.
The Illuminati?
No, not the Illuminati, but close. The Order of the Eastern Star. Eastern Star is the female version of the
Illuminati?
Not the Illuminati. Can you stop messing with my head? You just totally threw me off now.
I totally threw you off.
That's it. I quit. I'm done. Done.
No.
Done. Order of the Eastern Star, which is, the female version of the fraternal organization. Jesus, I just had a Freemasons. Thank you, asshole. You ruined it. It went right out of my head. And PM means past matron, which means that she was the head of this chapter, 80 and 89. Thank you, Barbara. I knew it was Masons, but Katy ruined my train of thought because she's a jerk.
When I was the executive director for Habitat for Humanity, I actually got to go to a Freemasons meeting. And I just remember one of the guys was doing this really weird thing where it's like he didn't just stand with his arms crossed. It was like he had this it's like he had like some sort of weird way of holding his arms that I thought was really bizarre. Continue.
So both of my parents and my family are all of the men in my family are Masons. They're all 33-degree Masons, except for my brother. We kind of gave up. We didn't do any of that. And my mom is a member of the Eastern Star, as is many of the women in my family. I've never joined it. Maybe when I'm older, I will. Who knows? But it also has a lot of pins on it, which are really cool. The pins I'll probably take off and sell separately, maybe as a lot. I actually have to check and see if any of them are real gold or real jeweled, because sometimes they are. So I paid $25 for this, but this was one of the things that I knew I wanted to get when I saw the pictures from the estate sale. And I'll probably sell this for the sash itself for about $100, and then the pins, depending on whether any of them are real golds. If they're not, they'll probably do a lot for like $50, and if they are, then depends on which ones are. So.
So the biggest question that's coming to mind for me is, at what point were you going to tell me that your parents were in the Illuminati and that you were thinking about joining? I think that's a little messed up.
Cheryl, can you yell at her for me?
No, Cheryl's on my side today.
Man.
All right.
And my last item that Barry came through and got for me, again, they had a price tag. This was what made me go to this estate sale first. There were 2 or 3 that we wanted to go to that day on Friday, and this particular one was 30 minutes away, as far away from us as you could possibly get across town. And it was priced, of course, they don't have prices in the pictures, so it was priced at $395. I made beeline for the garage. I was the first one over there. I went, no way I'm paying that.
Well, and we got there, and you were like, so I asked her, I'm like, what do you want me to go for? Because, I was just there to assist. And she was like, okay, go to the kitchen. There's a block of knives, Cutco knives. Go and get those. And there's also a wooden case that has Cutco knives in it. And so I was all like, we get in there, and I'm all, and I run into the kitchen. I'm looking everywhere. The kitchen had tons of stuff. I'm looking everywhere. No knives. Looking everywhere. And then I hear this lady say, where are those Cutco knives I saw? And I'm like, damn it. So then I'm following her, who's following like one of the guys that works there. Of course, they have them in a totally different room. They had them up by the front. And so I'm like thinking, she's going to get those knives. And so I follow her in there. Well, they were the only 2 things in the whole place that they had reserve prices on. And the block of knives, it was like $625. And the wooden case was like $295. And I'm like, well, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, no thanks. That's about what you could get for them.
Yeah. All right, so
you guys all know me and my love of vintage electronics, right? You can still see the price tag for $295 on this thing.
$395, but earlier you said $300.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, $300.
Anyway, this is a vintage computer. It's from 1982. And not only did I get the CPU, but it has the keyboard that goes with it. Obviously mechanical keyboard, because that was all they had then. All of the attachment cords, all of the instruction books, and tons of floppy disks and different
Floppy disks.
programs and things like that. And it still works. Barry not only got it for me for $150, but he had them plug it in, and he sent me a photo of it working. So it does work. It has all the cords. It's by a brand called Kaypro, Kaypro, which was so short-lived that there are so few out there. This particular model, there are none available, and there haven't been any for quite a while.
Could you hand me my floppy disk?
And this keyboard is enormous and probably weighs like 10 pounds. So cute little note about this particular model and this particular keyboard. It is the keyboard that is on the desk that Bruce Willis is using in the opening sequence for Moonlighting.
What?
So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool computer. There's tons of programming stuff with it. I have a feeling that this guy kept everything. And this is the guy that was the military security something dude. I don't know.
So you think what kind of top secret stuff happened on that keyboard?
I don't know. Who knows? But it's in full working order. I do expect to get at least $600 for it.
Should we be telling people that we have floppy disks from the FBI, from the CIA from 1982?
I may know who killed JFK.
I
will probably have to figure out how to use that computer, though.
We got to see what kind of government secrets are on those floppy disks.
Yeah. So it is a clicky keyboard. It is a mechanical keyboard. They're not the type that most people want, though. They're not. It's not one of the old IBM ones, but it is still considered a mechanical keyboard. It's pretty funny if you look at this. This is how easy this type of keyboard is. It was made at the same time as Compaq and Apple when they first started. So this company came out in 1979. This keyboard, there's no other keys. It's just numbers.
I like the wear marks though that are on here from the guy's hands.
Yep.
While he was typing up government secret
information.
Yep.
But anyway, it's a really cool one. I'm interested in a lot of the research that I've been doing on the particular brand and company because it's a company that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
With all of the items on it, Barry, I think you're right. I might actually start it around 1,000 or best because it is cool. But it also has a lot of software with it, and this particular model has never sold.
Amanda, yes, there are floppy disks in there. We're going to check them for all the government secrets. And then we'll probably do a series of videos where we will expose all of the government secrets we find on those floppy disks.
There are some Kaypros that people sell too low. If you put anything in auction, forget it. You're just dumb when it comes to this type of stuff because people are not looking for this as a keyword every day. And each one is going to have different degrees of whether it works and what type of programs are with it. Anyway, this has all of the booklets, all of the original operating software, all that kind of stuff. So
I don't know, somebody in the CIA or the FBI, they probably have an automatic keyword search, and you're going to list that, and it's going to alert the system.
And they're going to come knocking on the door.
A whole chain of events are going to kick off. Things that cannot be reversed, guys, okay? So I don't know. I don't even know if this video will be there after this live broadcast is over because it could disappear. We could disappear. We may never see you again. So for the 180 people who are hanging out with us right now, guys, we love you. We're going to miss you.
Yeah, I might be able to sell the discs, but I do think in this particular, I break stuff up all the time, Jenny, but I have to be honest with you. I think this one is more valuable as the sum of all the parts as opposed to it being broken down individually. So, yeah, I think once I do a little bit more research into what I have as far as the operating system, it's got the whole schematic of the operating system for people that take apart these old computers and try to recreate and build their own motherboards, which is what a lot of people that buy old computers do. The whole schematic printout is.
So you're saying there's top secret schematics that came with it?
Yeah.
From the government?
Yep. I may actually be able to find where in the world Carmen Sandiego is.
That was terrible. You think the government's hiding that fact?
No, I think
Don't
the
you
computer's
know?
old enough.
Don't you know it's all about your knowledge of geography that helps you find Carmen Sandiego? You nut. Anyway. All right.
And yes, Barry, it's heavy as all hell. So I will be absolutely charging shipping. Generally speaking, when I have something like that, I probably would just put like a flat fee of $100 to ship it and be done with it, because it's, you know. Yeah, Deepage picker. Want to play a game? Little. I know.
I need to find a Oregon Trail floppy Pacific 49. Get the Oregon Trail game.
Well, it has games with it too, which I'm kind of excited to plug it in and see what ones it has. It has games. It has a Word program that came out like before Word, Office Word, Microsoft Office Word. This was like the precursor to Microsoft. This game. This computer was the precursor to Microsoft. So kind of cool.
Pretty cool. All right, guys. We're Cheryl says, at least our last show will be the one where Katy was nice to me.
And yes, actually, this is one that you use BASIC to program. It's not DOS. Yeah, it's BASIC based, and it's kind of cool.
So Lynn Ring Country Soap says, when I first start selling and just sell my own stuff, do I have to pay taxes? I have a ton of Harley Davidson gear. So so when it's your own stuff,
there is a rule of thumb that if you're just selling your own items that you've already paid taxes on when you purchase them, you do not need to pay taxes on it. You would need to pay taxes on any profit you made above and beyond what you originally paid for the item. Considering it's your own stuff, you're probably not going to get retail prices for it. That's not something you necessarily need to pay taxes on. But the moment that you are selling something that was not your own originally, or something that you make a profit on, you pay $1 for it and you sell it for $2, you are then talking about getting into tax information.
Yeah. So now Harley Davidson stuff, retail is pretty expensive. So if it's your own stuff that you paid for, you don't have to worry about it. As far as everything else goes, the reality is any money that you make, you have to pay taxes on. Now PayPal does not send a 1099 to the IRS until you hit $20,000 in 1 year or 200 sales.
I think it's 200.
I think 200 sales, and then they will report your income to the IRS at that point.
But that doesn't mean that you're not responsible to report your own. So
it's up to you. That's for you to decide. But when you're talking about just your own stuff, like she said, no, you don't pay taxes on it if you bought it originally, and you're not making a profit on it.
Harley has been doing some Vero stuff lately, Victoria said, but that's really Harley parts that people are selling. It hasn't really been happening on Harley merchandise. If your merchandise is yours, if it's genuine merchandise, if it's not something that, somebody put a Harley patch on and it was sold at Walmart, then you're fine. Don't have fears of Vero. But if you're selling Harley parts, then you got to be real careful what you're selling as far as parts. That's where they're hitting people with Veros. So yeah, you've got to be careful with it there. Kent, I have to say, you've been making some really funny comments there. It's, shall we play a game? That's correct.
Yeah, well, I like that he says that Jesus used that computer, and actually the 10 Commandments are going to be in the draft folder.
I agree. Yeah.
So
it's pretty funny.
But what's funny, guys, is what you don't know in the draft folder is actually 12 Commandments. So
yeah,
we'll wait till another show, and then we'll tell you about those 2 commandments that got edited out. So we're going to save that for our next show after we're able to do a deep dive into these
he learned how. It was after Whiteout, right before he learned how to use the edit button on the computer. He had to program. It was 12 commandments. So
it's true. It's true, guys. You heard it here first. Okay, that's what happens when you find the government secrets on it.
Linda, I learned BASIC in high school when we still had typing classes and we had computer classes. So I'm not super old. I'm old enough. I'm 44. So when I was in middle school, we were playing Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego on the computers, and we were learning how to create basic commands for
Where
things.
In the world is Carmen Sandiego? Remember that show?
No.
Well,
I was too old to be watching TV shows about Carmen Sandiego because by the time that came on, I was old.
Okay.
Shift, Control, Delete. Yep, Kent, you're on a roll today. You're funny.
Says he's been drinking because of
Oregon
football. He's
Trail.
excited because it's the first day of football.
I always die of dysentery with Oregon Trail.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the show now. We got to get our swimsuits on because we're going to go do some swimming. Some swimming. We did some listing earlier today. We're calling it a day. My computer's frozen anyway. Not like I can do anything. Hopefully. Oh, and you got a return request too. I'm glad mine was just a $27.99 one, so it's not too painful. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, we apologize for the crappy quality of our video today. But I'm glad we were still able to bring the show to you guys. We appreciate you hanging out with us. We will see you on Wednesday if you want to come hang out for the Boss Up and List live show. It'll be 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday. Again, if you're not in the Boss group, you should be. And at some point today, if not tomorrow, I will try and get our sales numbers up since I wasn't able to show you the actual breakdown of our numbers. And we like to do that every week so you guys can keep on top of how we're doing.
Keep us honest.
Keep us honest. Anyway, guys, we really appreciate you hanging out with us, and we're going to get out of here. We're going to skedaddle.
Cheryl will make sure to check in during the week to make sure that the FBI has not come knocking on my door and abducted us. We may not be able to check in if we've been abducted, though. So,
yeah. Just look for our posts in the box.
It is Vegas. We are not far from Area 51, not Studio 54, Area 51. Cheryl was a little confused in the chat about that. Two vastly different places.
Yes, very different, vastly different, controversial things happened at both spots. Anyway, guys, we will talk to you later. So please enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Go make some money and have fun. Bye.